Today is about the power of you. You will change the world.
You're listening to the Chronicles of Living podcast.
Do the damn thing.
Where we talk to visionary dreamers like you about living their best life.
Fulfill the highest, truest expression of yourself.
It's time to step into the past, present, and future with an open and healthy mind. Go! Now let's talk.
What's going on, my visionary dreamers? How is everybody doing on Let's Talk Sunday? This is Aydp, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, from some real bullshit. And you are tuned into Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know, it's extraordinary folk over here doing the damn thing the best way we can. And to my newcomers out here, I'm just your girl right now. I'm just your auntie, your mama, your grandmama, whatever you need me to be to have a conversation with you and kind of just let you look at things from a different light, a different perspective in your life. That's what this show is all about. My veterans, y'all already know what it is. And I want to thank all of you guys for tuning in. And thank you for sharing, subscribing, following any platform that Chronicles of Living is on. I truly, truly appreciate that, especially if you've been getting something out of this show to help you along your journey. So I am a life purpose coach. I'm a energy healer, intuitive card reader, book author, and of course a podcaster, amongst other things. You know, I like to try new things. So this is what life is all about. So we're going to just get right into the show. The topic of today is, drum roll, what is your excuse? What is your excuse? I mean, this topic came about, guys, and to you newcomers out there, this show is not just for you, it's for me too, because all I do is move and step aside and let spirit take over. I meditate before I start the show, and I just channel for a spirit to come through and just talk to us and let us know what it is that we might need to hear, rather be for the past, present, or future, rather be for the present or the future. You get what I'm saying? And if I say past, I mean like it could be a situation that you have been holding on to. Maybe you just couldn't let go. And that could be blocking you and creating excuses for you to level up. How about that? You know, check out how Spirit just started off from the gate, you know? Let me put this phone on silent because I'm videotaping this too, guys. And you will see the edited version soon as I get time to get to editing. But, you know, excuses. We all do it. We all do it. Rather, you know, a lot of times we mean well. You know, sometimes it could be something we think is so innocent. You know, somebody might invite us somewhere and we just create this excuse because we really don't want to go, instead of just telling them the truth. Like, no, I don't want to go. I don't want to come to your event. I don't want to come to your house. I don't want to, you know, like we'll just, instead of just saying no, sometimes we'll have the tendency of making up excuses because we think like, okay, I don't want to hurt somebody's feelings, or I don't want somebody to look at me in a certain way, or I don't want nobody to judge me, or all of this stuff. And just we make life more complicated than it really needs to be. When you get to the point, I think that, and I can say this like talking to my other girlfriends that's like in the 50 club and up. When you get to a certain age, it's like you don't care. You really don't care what everybody else thinks. some of us, let's say some of us, we still got a lot of people out here that's in the 50 club that still is living a life based on what everybody else thinks, what everybody else judgment is and opinion is about them, and they're basically living for everybody else except for themselves. There are still a lot of people out here doing that. And of course, that stems from low self-esteem. That stems from, just not being as confident as you, I'm going to say, should be at this day and age. Because we have social media now, right? And so, because we have social media and we constantly is always another social media platform popping up and things of that nature. So that can catch us up as far as life, and that can become a part of our excuse, meaning like some people get so caught up in social media that they don't realize that if they just allot the time that they're spending on social media, unless they're doing it for business or they're taking that time to, you're posting things to promote your business, versus you're just on there for like 2 hours, just looking and just on there. And I know, guys, you can get caught up on social media, because I get caught up because I'll be on it laughing, cracking my behind off, at some of these videos. Some people are just so silly, and that is my thing. I go on social media to learn. I go on social media to learn new things, to enhance my skill sets, the things that I already have knowledge of, or either if it's something that I know that I need to brush up on and enhance, So, but in doing that, we all know that you could go on social media with one focus, right? And then things will just start coming across your queue. And before you know it, you veer off to something totally different than your whole intention that you went on there for. And then now you look at the clock and say you were supposed to take care of some business, maybe for your business, maybe for your job. Maybe you at lunch and it's past the lunchtime now because you still on there, and you have certain assignments that you need to complete, and you just spent a whole extra half an hour on social media. Now you behind schedule with whatever it is that that you were supposed to take care of, right? These are the things that can just put us off our path and just not our goals out of whack. I'll say that. We have to be mindful, guys, that right now in this time, space, reality, we have one life to live in this time, space, and reality. And I say this time, space, and reality because once this costume is off of us, we're still here. We're still floating around. Some of us might come back, if you believe in reincarnation. I truly do. You have this opportunity right now, and tomorrow is not promised. Tomorrow's not promised. One of my cousins, my sister cousins, just lost her youngest son, 14 years old. 14. Who would have ever thought something like that at 14? You know what I'm saying? So it's you don't know when is your time. And because you don't know when is your time, you need to take advantage of every waking minute, every waking second that you have with yourself, with your kids. If they're not grown, they still in the house. You need to make sure you carve out that time because we don't know. Tomorrow is not promised. I'm not ever going to say life is too short because life is not short. Life is as short as you want it to be, right? Some people live to 90 or 100 and they can live a full life. But then you can have some people that can live to 70 and have a short life, meaning they did not tap into the fullness of what they could have had out of life. They did not tap into the fullness of who they are and why they are here, their purpose. They probably never even found out their purpose, and they just was living life on auto. on autopilot. You get what I'm saying? So you see how, the excuses of whatever your dreams and your visions, your goals are very important for you to take serious, for you to invest in yourself and take that time out for you. You owe it to yourself, for you to surround yourself with like-minded people so that you can be held accountable, and not like-minded people that's just on your same level, but have your groups of friends where you got this group that, y'all connect on one way, and y'all can kind of like check in with each other. Yo, what's going on? And give each other a little cheer here and there, little, support, and say, oh, you doing this? And oh, that's what's up. Or, they call you if they stuck and they just want to run some ideas by you, get your feedback. But just know that when you talk to people like that, to friends like that, make sure that the feedback is for your greater good. It's for your, your higher, your higher good. And I know it's like, because I'm videotaping and doing audio at the same time, my eyes, 1 minute I'm looking in the middle of the screen, next minute I'm looking over. So I gotta work on this. But, you gotta determine who is for your greater interest and who is in your life, and just say things to you to make you think and trip you up and hold you back so that you can stay comfortable with your excuses. Let's say that, because we do have people in our lives that will co-sign on your excuses, and then that way you justify your excuse, because those people are probably not doing more than you in their life. They probably just like on autopilot. So if you run something by them and say, I really want to, let's say, start writing a book. I really want to write a book. But, I got so much going on in my life, and work is just so hectic, and I just can't find the time. And then say you talking to a friend of yours that has never, ever pursued their dreams or vision. And their friend that like going out, or just like hanging, and they just go to work and that's it. That's all they got going for themselves. They don't want to do nothing else but just go to work, come home, be on social media or watch TV, things of that nature. Something that's not invested in themselves. They just go to work, get their paycheck, they happy with that, and that's that. And you have this conversation about you wanting to, say write your book, but you're saying how your schedule and you tired when you come home. But then they come and they say, yeah, man, you got time. Girl, you got time for that. Maybe just, whenever you get your schedule clear, maybe you should just do it next year. Or maybe you should take a couple months, and this and that and the other. Now you're comfortable with that excuse, right? Now you just like, okay, I'm justified. This ain't no excuse. This is a legit reason on why I'm not working on my book, even though it's heavy on my spirit, even though it's heavy on my heart. So I'm talking to you guys out there that have a dream, that have a vision, that's been saying, oh, I'm going to write a book one day. Because I get a lot of that, since people know about my books right back here for those who are viewing. And I just want to take this shameless plug second to thank you guys for supporting my book collection, Visionary Dreamer 90-Day Journal, Transform Your Life, the Discover Your Purpose, the workbook, and things that I've learned as an entrepreneur, all available online right now, Amazon.com. Just search for April Adion Williams, and my book should come up in the search of Amazon. Okay, I say Amazon because that's the most popular website, even though it's on Barnes and Nobles and other sites as well. So thank you guys for that, and make sure y'all rate it. People tell me they're getting things out the book, but I need y'all to go rate it on Amazon so I could get up there, okay? So people can know that it's legit and it's good and it's going to help you. So let me say that. So let's take from my journey of writing my books, editing my books. I'll use that for example. Now, it's okay for you. I'm just on this for example, okay, guys? So that you can apply this to whatever it is that you have been putting off, whatever dreams, visions, goals that you just keep pushing back and just tomorrow, next week, next month, next year, all of that, thinking that you just got all the time in the world, taking your time for granted, okay? So this is for you guys out here. So, so like I said, it's not applying just if you want to write a book. I'm saying for anything, okay? But I just want to make this an example for you guys. So now, years ago, Spirit put on my heart that I was going to write some books, right? Years ago. And then my son, when he was young, he was like around, I want to say, he was young. He's probably like 7. I think he was like 7, 8, something like that. And he was saying how he wanted to write books. And I think it stemmed from, he was telling stories in school. Long story short, he was telling stories in school to his teachers and to his friends. And then the teachers, they would started pulling me to the side and asking me this happened, that happened, or whatever. And I'm like, no, I can't even remember the stories, but it was just like stories. And then I think he told one story. He was just making up some stuff. And the teacher kind of pulled me to the side. It was something that could have got me in trouble. I was like, yo, no, that's not, So I had to have a talk with my son. Like, no, son, you can't say stuff like that. He's like, well, I was just making up a story. And I was just, no. And then I brought him a little composition book, and I'm like, son, write your stories down. Just go crazy with your imagination. You can write a book or whatever. And I think his school did like a little book. It was like in elementary school. They let them write a little book, and then from there, between me and the teacher, he just went on his journey and he started writing. And so with that kind of led me on my path, right? And even though I had the vision, it was kind of his vision first, and so my vision was just like, it wasn't as, I'm going to say, detailed of a goal. So say that's what you're facing. Say you just had this vision. Say somebody sparked, a fire in you. Somebody like my son sparked that fire in me. You know what I mean? And say somebody sparked the fire in you, was like, damn, I got some stuff to talk about. I think I got some stuff that I can help people out. And if I write it in a book, I've been through some things in life, and I can write a book one day. Okay, that's fine. That's not an excuse, because you have to break down the details of, okay, how are you going to write this book? What you want to write this book about? You got to do research and find out all the ins and outs of how to write a book, how to publish a book. And then later on down the line, I had a friend that asked about writing a book and things of that nature. And then I wound up, that was my journey of really researching. And then in the midst of me researching and finding out all the information between my son and my friend, I started really being like, hey, I could do this. You get what I'm saying? I started looking up the publishers and looking up the, how much it costs to edit, how much it costs, all of this stuff. And from that journey, it allowed me to see the numbers on what it is that I would have to pay in order for this dream, this vision to come to light. So listen, guys, I'm saying all of this. And if you really are listening, you really paying attention, and I'm saying to you, apply this to your dream, your vision. Apply this story to your dream and your vision. So, in other words, it sparked. My son first sparked the interest, and then a friend of mine sparked the interest. And because I had to do the work, and I wanted to help both of them out to make sure that the books were published and that, they get out there, that led me on a research journey. And then from there, I was able to write down an outline. Okay, this is this. This is how much this is going to cost. Okay, this is how I need to do this. This is how I need to structure the book. This is how I need to get the code on there for people to be able to purchase the book. I need all of these little details. Takes time. So when you have your vision, your dream, and your goal, it just takes time out of your schedule that you have been given to what? Social media, to people that's not helping you to grow, to people that's just, one track mind, that they're in the comfort zone. And you're sharing these ideas, these dreams, and these visions with them when they're not where you want to go. They're not even thinking on that level. And so they keep you comfortable in your excuses, right? Instead of getting with people that have the same desires, maybe not the same desire as you, your goal, your dream, but meaning the same desires that they are excited about, a desire that has been put on their heart, something that they want to accomplish in life, And so now you have somebody to fuel your fire, and you can go back and forth with each other and just keep each other going, right? So I say all of that to say, like, this past weekend, and I believe this is really why this topic came about, is because this past weekend I was in this webinar from yesterday and today, and both webinars were they were supposed to be from 12 to 3, but yesterday wound up going to 4, and the day wound up going to 5. I mean, the webinars was fire. And it came about because this was me on YouTube learning some things. And then this video came across my queue. I had been saying that, I used to have properties before, and I have, my house now, but I want to get into buying properties again and getting rentals and things of that nature. And I've been saying this. So I put that out there in the universe. So this is what happens when you really have a strong desire about something, and you make up in your mind, like, you know what, I'm going to do this. I'm going to accomplish this. And you put a target date. That's the most important thing. Making a target date. Because when you write it down, I'm going to accomplish. I am accomplishing. I am accomplishing. Now I am accomplishing purchasing a property in the year 2023. You put that target date there. You look at it from day to day. Guess what? You're going to start putting your own feet to the fire. Now you're like, okay, I got to get this done. How can I get this done? If you ask the universe, okay, tell me how I can get this done. And you say it out loud, and you say, show me through love, peace, and grace. Lead me to the right people. Let me see the right things so that I can get on the path. Guess what? Poof, there it is. And that's what happened to me. I was just on YouTube, and I was watching some stuff about, mortgage, because I used to, if you've been following the show, you know that I used to be a loan officer. I was in the mortgage field, and I was in the insurance field. And here recently, I'm working on getting my insurance license back and things of that nature, and looking forward to getting my security license and my mortgage back. And it's a process, and it's time consuming, right? But nevertheless, you can do little things to get you along that path. So I already started the process of far as getting my insurance license back. I took some classes a couple weeks ago, and I said, okay, I'm going to take the test by the end of this month. By the end of March, if you're watching this later on, March 2023. But if you watch this after this, I'm already going to have my license back. Trust and believe. So I made a target date, like, okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to get my insurance license by the end of March. And I made the initiative, took a boot camp class, a little, a weekend class, gave up my weekend for that. And then I said, I'm going to get back into properties. And this weekend, because I put it out there to the universe sent me a video of a guy named MG, the mortgage guy. So make sure y'all look that up. Plug out MG, the mortgage guy. That was an awesome webinar. I mean, awesome. And he brought on, and I want to remember everybody's name, but he brought on an insurance professional. He brought on two beautiful women that was into real estate with NACA. What's her name? NACA, and with the USD. Is it USD loans and stuff like that? USDA loans. So it's Maya Sly. She was with the USDA loans, and then Nadera Teller, the NACA queen. So make sure that y'all look up those three people: MG, the mortgage guy; Nadera Teller, the NACA queen; and I want to say her name right, Maya Sly, the USDA mortgage. She's over that. And all of their presentation. Oh gosh, I forgot I'll try to put the links in the bottom. Once I get their true links to everything. Okay, guys. Wherever you're watching this, I'll work on that. Okay. But anyway, try to search them up on your own. That's your first homework, okay? That's your first. That's what shows you if you're really serious. Like, say you want to invest in a house or, things of that nature. You want to look up those people, all right? But shout out, because MG, the mortgage guy, I mean, he did it at a rate that is unheard of to give up all that information. And he's not going to do that anymore. But you want to look up those people. If you want to buy a house, you definitely want to look up MG, the mortgage guy. Anyway, I learned so much. And not only did I learn so much, it allowed me to rehash the knowledge that I've learned when I was in the mortgage back before the crash was 2008, and it burnt a fire. It lit the fire back in me. Like, oh my gosh, like I wish I would have never gave that up. I mean, but I do know that sometimes in life there are things that you need to let go of to learn new things, because our journey it's just that. It's a journey. And along this journey, we're constantly learning. Hopefully, we're constantly learning, whether it's through people, whether it's through situations, whether it's through just different things. And whether you believe it's a good thing or it's a bad thing, it's something that disappointed you, hurt you, whatever. It's all learning. It's all learning. It's all learning about you, who you are, what your capabilities are, what your strengths are, all these things that we learn along our way, along the journey. If you choose to reflect and ask yourself, what have I learned? Like, I'm going to ask them, once I got off the webinar today, and the last one was today, I was like, oh my God, I am making up excuses. And this is why this topic is here. I'm making up excuses. And yes, I feel like I've been working. I do. I'm always, working and stuff like that. But as far as I could be further, I feel like I could be further in my, I want to say, in learning, and getting back on track with that. So I'm going to make sure that I allot, and this is something that you guys can do. This is what I'm saying, that you allot, even if it's an hour a day, when you get from work, when you finish your work day, whatever, or you get up early and do it before you even start your day. Sometimes earlier is the best because it's so quiet, but that you allot yourself the time to learn, to read a book, to listen to an audiobook, to write out your goals in detail, to write out, give yourself an outline and just really think about how is it that you want things to look in the year 2024 for you. Just taking that time out. Thinking about your week that has passed. If I guarantee you this, if you think about and you sit there and take it serious, right? And you write out the week that passed. What did you do? Title, what did you do? What did I do last week? How did I spend my time last week? You sit there and write that out. And if it's a blank, that means you ain't did shit last week. That means you waste a lot of time last week. But if you can sit there and honestly write out some things that you did last week, and those things equivalent to your goals, your dreams, your visions in some type of way, then bravo to you. That means that you are valuing your time. You're valuing your time. That's what we all have to get to. You're not making excuses. You are taking your life serious. You are taking your time serious. Right? And it's what we all have to get better at. I'm sure, even people that's not taking their time for granted, we're all always striving to make sure that we're not taking our time for granted, or we're not letting anybody take our time for granted. Because see, that goes on a lot. And that is what brings on excuses, as into why we're not where we want to be. Or even a lot of times people get where they want to be and they're like, okay, now what's next? Right? That's where we all should be. We should all be like, okay, what's next? So once we can get to that point in our lives where our question becomes, what's next? Man, I guarantee you will feel much better about yourself. We will feel much better about ourselves because I'm still on that journey as well. So I had to condense. So I had a conversation. Let's say this. One of my cousins, he lives out here in Georgia with, on the other side of Georgia. And his birthday was this month, just as mine is next week. So I don't know if I'm be coming on the podcast. I don't know if my birthday, I might just chill out. But either way, he came out a couple of days ago, and I always make sure I get cake for my, whoever's out here, my friends or whatever like that. We gotta celebrate, even if it's just a couple of us. So got this cake, and we sat and we talked. Me and my cousin, we sat and we talked. We both Pisces, so we both dreamers, right? And it's good because he's younger than me and he's like a little brother to me. But it's good because we'll bounce off of each other and we'll be like, so what you got going on, cuz? What you working on? And we both always working on something, right? And so the good thing we do for each other is like, okay, I don't think that you should worry about that right now. We'll do that to each other. I think that's just too much. I think that's going to take you off track. I think you should focus on this, cuz. We're good at that with each other. And then my son is really good at that with me. Like, Mom, no, complete that first. Because we'll go off like, oh, I got this idea. And so when you do things like that, what happens to the other goals, the dreams, the visions that you had that you've been working on? They become, paused. Because you could only focus on so many things at the same time. Yes, we all should have multiple streams of income for emergencies. In case one dry out, we still got another stream going on. Definitely. And so sometimes you could get in that process of working all of that out. And when you're working that out, as far as getting those stream of incomes together, of course, it's trial and error. As me and my cousin was talking about, it's trial and error. So you have to see what is it that's going to work out for you. What's the best thing for you? that you know that you can maintain. And so that was one of the things we talked about, and was like, I realized like, okay, I don't push certain things, but so much so that I can have control of it, because I don't have a team at this present time. And, you know, I've had assistants and stuff like that, but I noticed the assistant that I had, I wound up going behind him and doing the work I was paying him to do. And I just felt some type of way, because I'm like, okay, I hired you for my assistant, and you're supposed to have all this knowledge about web design and all this stuff, and I'm paying you, but yet I'm sitting up here, thank God, that's what I do. I know how to do branding and web designing and things of that nature, because I would have been stuck, right? So I had to think about it. I'm like, okay, I only can handle but so much at the same time right now. You know, I have my online site, my Regenerating Me metaphysical shop, and then I have, you know, my services, you know, my energy healing, my readings, and then my courses that I'm still tweeting. And so the courses become an excuse. It became an excuse because they really are done. I just have to finish editing the videos to them, right? Well, the main video, the course itself is done. So I was telling my cousin, I'm like, you know, I believe, and this is what you guys can do. And this is why I'm saying, take that pen and that pad out. You really need to question yourself and say, why is it that I feel stuck at this point? At this point of my project, of my goal, of my vision, what is keeping me stuck? What is blocking me from moving past this point? What is blocking me from, you know, believing or being ready? And what me and my cousin came to the conclusion of is that, if you know Pisces, most Pisces are free spirited. We don't want to feel like we locked in a box. We don't want to feel like, you know, we don't want to feel obligated. Stuff like that, you know? So we watch what we commit to. Let's say that. And we've come to that conclusion. And so I said to him, I said, you know, I had to figure out a way that I can create courses that I don't want to commit to a bunch of groups like on Facebook and stuff, because I'm not really a social media person. And I tell people to say, don't say you're not, because you could do it. But we all know our strengths. We all know, and it's not like it's not a strength of mine, but I'm more of a builder. I'm the one that will build the doggone Facebook website, and I have built social media websites before. So I'm a builder. I'm a creator. That's my strength. That's what I love. That's my passion. Let's say it that way, right? And sometimes when you're a builder and you're a creative person, you're like overly creative person, you're wired in a certain way, whereas though your tolerance of just being on social media and stuff like that is not as high as somebody that's more so an influencer type of vibe. You know what I mean? And you could say I'm an influencer because I have a podcast show, right? But my intentions for this podcast show is to inspire, encourage, motivate folk out there that's on that fence for their dreams, their visions, and their goals, right? So that's my passion. And this is what I'm saying about going to the drawing board and really asking yourself these questions, right? And so I came up with the conclusion that, okay, what I'm going to do is just stick with my Zoom calls. You know, I like that better. I was, you know, when I do my Zoom calls with my clients, I really like that. I like doing that. It's still intimate because we can see each other. They're at a comfortable place. I'm in my home, and you know, because you're in that comfortable place, they're at their home, I'm at my home. It just makes the conversation and the discussion better to me. And I think so on their end too. And so putting together a podcast course, guys, to those who want their own podcast. And so one of my clients that wanted a podcast show, I told her, I said, look, since you want this podcast and I'm doing this, how about I'm going to let you be the voice for those other people, that want a podcast show of their own. And in this way, I will create a course from it. So guys, look out for the podcast course for those who want that podcast show, because she's realizing now just how much goes into it as we've been working on this course, as she's been, we've been doing these Zooms and stuff, meetings and stuff. So I say to you, like, this show is really just about showing you how it is that you can buckle down and stop making the excuses and just get to it. You just work on being around like-minded people, or tuning in to like-minded people's webinar. Like, if I wasn't on YouTube, if I didn't put it out there in the universe and say, okay, I'm ready to get back into the mortgage game, I'm ready to get back into the insurance game, I doubt if maybe those videos would have came across my queue. So me watching his video, at the end of the video, I think at some point in his video, he talked about he had an upcoming webinar. And the webinar was going to be about $20. I'm like, $20? Oh yeah, I could do that. And and it was like only in a couple days, because I think I watched the video like probably, I don't know, maybe Wednesday or something like that this week. And the webinar was Saturday and Sunday of this week. So when you have a dream and a vision, instead of making an excuse and say, damn, I'm just watching this weekend and, no. I said I wanted to get into it. So I just rearranged my schedule. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to allot the time to be on this webinar and take my notes and get what I can get out of it, right? Moving forward. So you have to execute. When the universe answers your call, answers what you put out there in the universe, when you say, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that. And then all of a sudden, somebody call you on the phone and they say something about what it is that you said you wanted to do, just out of nowhere. Or if you on any type of social platform and a video comes across your screen and it's based on that, just know now, outside of AI, listening to your phone, sending you ads because you see something. Outside of that, definitely take advantage of it, guys, because you don't know where it's going to lead you. You don't know, even if, say if something comes across your queue and say it's a course, say it's a webinar, and right at that moment you might not have the funds to move further. At least subscribe to that person's YouTube channel or whatever they got going on and get more information and take your notes. And two, you could get to the point that you can pay for whatever it is they have to offer, to help you move further along the game. So I just want to tell you guys that, because I feel so good. I mean, I just know, after my birthday week, listen, I already told, I'm going to say upline, my partner, as far as with the insurance goes, that brought me back in. And this is what I'm saying. This guy, shout out to you, Garland. Shout out to you, Garland. It's so funny because, and this is how crazy it is. Look, check this out, y'all. So the mortgage guy, MG, the mortgage guy, his name is Matt Garland, right? Note that. Look this guy up. He's the bomb.com. He is a beast with the mortgage and everything, right? But check this out. The guy that brought me back into the insurance game has been at me for 2 years to get back into it. 2 years. And guess what his name is? Garland. That's his first name. But the mortgage guy last name is Garland. How ironic. What? Is that not the universe? It's crazy how the universe will send people your way. I mean, Garland has been on my case for 2 years, sending me texts, sending me emails. I was just ignoring them. I was like, oh, what the hell? But then this year, because I put it out there, he hit me up and he was just like, oh, I got a special going on. You only got to pay this to get in. I'm like, what? Where? Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. And I just did it. And I just started it off, paid, and then did the 3-day boot camp, and that fire started burning in me because a lot of stuff started coming back. I started remembering a lot of things, and the same thing with the mortgage. I started remembering a lot of things, and it started making me look at myself. When the young ladies came on and was talking, and they sisters of color, and they started talking with passion about the different types of loans, and it was just like, this used to be me. I was looking at them like a mirror. I'm like, when I was in the mortgage game, when I was in the, insurance game, I was so passionate about helping people. Even with Matt, like I used to be him. I used to be that person wanted to help people get their dream home. And I used to be so excited about going to their closing and helping them to get their credit together and teaching them about credit. And the same thing with the insurance. I used to be so excited about helping people to make sure that their family is secure and learning about wealth building and things of that nature, and letting them see the difference of not looking at it as, I'm not dying, or my kid not dying, but making them look at it like, nah, it's more to this. Just sharing knowledge that people had no clue about. It's so powerful, guys. It's so powerful. And that is my thing. That is my passion. It's always to share knowledge that I learned with you guys and with anybody that comes in my path, because that is something that we're here to do. And don't get me wrong, just like Matt and the rest of the people that was on his webinar, you definitely have to shave it down and decide how much knowledge you're going to share for free versus what you're going to get paid for, because of the fact that you took time out of your schedule to learn that stuff. And so you can't give everything away for free. That's why I'm making a podcast course. You get what I'm saying? Because I got so many people that be coming to me, I want a podcast show, and how much you charge or whatever like that. And I decided that that's what was holding me back, because I really, time-wise, to keep doing things on an individual base, I think it's more powerful to do things in a group base. One, I can deal with more people at the same time and help more people at the same time. So that way it frees my time up, right? And then I think that in a group session, just like this past webinar, it was so powerful. Everybody was so excited, and they was starting to work together as a team, and Matt, he started answering questions, and people was just vouching for each other. This one guy offered to pay for somebody's, because he has a learning center, and one guy paid for his and said that he'd pay for somebody else's. He didn't even know. You know what I'm saying? And it just was like a lot of emotions. I say it that way. Good, like just hearing people's story, and it was encouraging, So I say to you, and I'm going to leave y'all with this. One of the guys on there, I'm going to share this one story. One of the guys on there just blew us away. And when he went to ask the question in the webinar. And this guy was 30 years old. He's in Africa right now. He's been living out there, him and his wife, for a year. He went out to Africa to start if I heard it right, a sports team for kids out there. And of course, he's learning about, I guess he's acquiring some properties out there and things of that nature. And then he's learning the language. I think he said it's Swahili or something like that. that's their language. And he was saying how we all need to learn different languages, which I had been making up excuses about learning a different language. I've been saying I'm going to learn Japanese because my son know how to speak Japanese. He took it up in college and in high school. And I've been saying I'm going to learn Japanese. And I've been saying I'm going to learn Spanish. So now I got to put, that was my feet being put under the fire. Like, yo, you haven't done a thing. Because he was just saying how much value is in you knowing another language, which is true. People get paid more money if they get a job and they know another language. They're going to pay them more, especially if their job deals with a certain nationality and you're not that nationality or that culture, rather. You're going to get paid more money than a person that does not know the language, right? So it was like, here's this 30-year-old young guy, and he was a Pisces. I said Pisces, we be doing the most. Only a Pisces is going to move out to Africa for a year. I know I would do it to learn something new and get out their comfort zone. You know, I say Pisces that's around like-minded people that want to flourish. Let's say that. But obviously he has a good wife and they both, you know, sharpen each other and support each other and push each other. So yeah, he said that, and this is what I'm talking about excuses. He said his mother passed away when he was 15 of cancer. So what does that mean? That means that at that point, 15 years old, he had to make a decision. Am I going to use this as an excuse? Well, my mom died at 15 years old, so I didn't have nobody to push me. I didn't have nobody to teach me. I didn't have nobody to say, good job, son. I didn't have nobody, you know, my mom around. I didn't have that. So that's why I'm just, you know, working this job, or I didn't go to school, or blah, 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 blah. We get this all the time. I get this all the time. Me being an energy healer, nothing against none of my clients. We all got to learn. You know what I'm saying? But I get this. Where people come and talk about what happened so many years ago. You know, what has them stuck from so many years ago. Something that they've been through that it's done. It's over. You can't change it, no matter how many times you talk about it, no matter how many times you revisit the situation. It's never going to change the situation that happened. If it's a loved one that passed away, if you talk about it, it's not going to bring them back. It's not. So when you get to the point in your life and you realize and you look at it to reflect like, okay, what did I get out of it? I met a guy, just matter of fact, yesterday, talking about his mom. I met yesterday. I did, and anybody know me, I'm a random, I know I'm going past my time, but this is important to me, and it should be to you. I do my little random Ubering. I think this is like my 5th time this year. Whenever our spirit fills me up, I'm going to go out there, and I like to Uber to meet people, to sow seeds in people. And so I went out and I met so many different nationalities. I met a Korean guy. I met Indian. But they was from Nigeria. 2 little Spanish girls, and the last guy, I think he was a black guy. I ain't stay out too long, but I felt my quota of touching people. I felt like. But anyway, we had a good time. Each conversation was great, and they left out like, you know, like, thank you. Like, we were able to feed each other. And the last guy was like 36, and he lost his mom. And he was down in the dumps. And he was just like, and so I inspired him. Of course, I encouraged him, and I told him this, what I tell everybody that loses a loved one. You have to look at it like this. One, again, we're in this suit. We're in this costume. Okay. But really, we are a soul. We are a spirit. And we are a soul and a spirit that lives on. Right. So when someone passes away that's close to you, they become your guardian angel, whether you want to realize that or not. And I can say this because I know when I do my readings and when I'm doing my energy healing, and sometimes people, loved ones come through, I can feel them. It's real, y'all. It's real. When you have a pure spirit and you know what I'm saying, your intentions is pure, you know, then you're able to help people to feel their loved ones, to connect with them. And so I told him, I'm like, so, you know how many people, I shared with him about some of my friends. I was like, I have a family member that mom left her at 6 months old. Wasn't raised by her mom. I have a girlfriend that lost her mom at 10 years old. I have a girlfriend that lost her mom at 2 years old. I have a girlfriend that lost her mom at 16 years old. I think it was one more. At 16 years old. But did they have and I have a girlfriend that lost her mom when we was in our last year in high school. I'm going to say 90% of them are doing well. And they decided that, okay, this was I got to move on. I got to live my life. I got to do some great things. I got to, I say this. You know how many people have never experienced having their mom in their life? How many people, I've had foster kids, you know what I'm saying, that never knew their mom? You have to take and look at how special and how blessed you were to have the time that you had with your loved one. This is for somebody, for me to stay here. You have to take and look at the fact that you were blessed enough to experience that connection. Whether it was a brother, sister, dad, grandpa, whoever you lost. You have to take the time to count your blessings and not take it for granted and say, you know what? There's a lot of people out here that wish they can have, experience what I experienced. Just like I told my cousin, there's a lot of people out here that wish they can have one kid. She had 3. That's not to take anything from losing one, the youngest one. But that's to show her that God bless you with 3. And you had an experience for 14 years with this young boy. Don't mourn too long. Celebrate that. Celebrate that. Look at the fact that you were blessed enough to have that connection. You was able to experience even just the birth, the whole connection of it. When you got so many people out here that's paying because they can't get pregnant, or they, they have to get that, what is it? I'm not even going to try to say the word, but y'all know what I'm saying. And they have to pay for that. And I'm going to say to you guys that are in that position, just know this. What's meant for you is meant for you. And there are kids that are waiting to be adopted. I don't know why Spirit's just going here, y'all. I gotta go where Spirit's going. There are plenty of kids out here that wish they can have you as a mother or a father. They wish they could have the opportunity. So don't look at it like if you are in that position that you can't get pregnant like that, you are less than, or you can't. No. Maybe it's meant for you. As a matter of fact, one of my girlfriends that lost her mom in our last year of high school has no kids. Neither her husband, neither. They never had kids. She couldn't have kids. But guess what happened? God blessed her, and she wound up having to take care of her 2 nephews. And now they're basically her kids, both of their kids. So you never know if it's intended for you to be that person to take care of another kid that needs you and that will love you more than you can ever imagine and appreciate you more than you can ever imagine. That's not your blood. And sometimes we can have, not sometimes, a lot of times, we'll have people in our lives that love us more and respect us and care for us, acknowledge us, honor us more than our blood family. So I think I'm going to leave y'all with that. So I'm going to say, if you got any excuses because you're saying, your family holding you back, or this, and you got to do this and you got to do that, if those are your excuses, it's bullshit. Because you are responsible for you, and you need to find a way to do what it is that Spirit put on your heart to do. That burning desire that you got in your gut, in your spirit, that is for you to do. You cannot control everybody else. You cannot, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we all have to be responsible. But at the end of the day, we are individuals, and we were born as individuals, and we're going to die as an individual. And if you die as that individual and you did not complete your purpose in this time, space, and reality, you get to your older days, or you've been blessed. If you are blessed enough to get to your older days, and you don't want to be that old person that sit there with a bunch of regrets, saying, I wish if I would have did this way, and if I would have did that way, and if I would have, connected with that person, if I would have, all of that, if. You don't want to be that person, because there's a lot of old folks in old homes, and, I've met when I was doing different types of work, and I deal with elderly people that got regrets. You don't want to be that person. And I'm sure even at the age that you are, you might have some stuff in your life you may look back on and be like, damn, I wish I could have did this way. Or I wish I would have did that. I would be here by now. So today, let's forget about woulda, coulda, shoulda. Let's forget about all of that. And let's stop making excuses. And let's now reach deep down inside and decide today. Like, you know what? Enough of the bullshit. Let me stop bullshitting myself. Right? Let me stop bullshitting myself. And let me go after what it is that I so desire in my heart. What it is I've always said I wanted to do. What it is that I always wanted to experience. Whether it be travel, whether it be something that you want to create, something you want to invent, something, you know what I mean? If I always use this, Steve Jobs, because iPhones are so popular, they cost so much money. If Steve Jobs would have been one of those excuse people, you guys wouldn't have an iPhone right now. You know what I mean? Think about that. Think about that. If the people that made the airplane would have been bullshitters and just making excuses, I want to make an airplane, maybe one day, maybe next year. Guess what? You wouldn't be able to fly over wherever to go see your loved ones. We got to think about things like this, guys. We're all here for a reason, for a purpose, for assignments. We're all assigned to different people. If the guy that I had the webinars with, Matt Garland, wouldn't have made up his mind like, you know what, I want to get out here and I want to share the knowledge, and the young ladies, lovely young ladies, and the guy with the inspection company wouldn't have shared with us. There's a lot of stuff I learned as a homeowner about the inspection and the stuff to look for, that I'm actually going to do some inspection on my own home and look out for some things in my house because of that. Because they decided to share, to take their knowledge and their wisdom and what they learned along the way and share with folk that they don't know. And to get with like-minded people and connect with like-minded people. So if MG, the mortgage guy, didn't take and connect with like-minded people, he wouldn't have had those young ladies on his platform to teach us some of the things that he even learned today or this weekend. Right? We all got to sharpen each other. We all got to take the time to sharpen each other, support each other. You know what I mean? Enough of the bullshit. Enough of God, it's horrible how sometimes your own culture just be hating on each other and don't want each other to get ahead. Like, you got to realize this. If I make it, you make it. You get what I'm saying? Especially, I like to share. And especially if you like to share, we all can get ahead. We all can get ahead. There's enough money out here for all of us to make it. Long as we got pure hearts, long as we, we mean good by it. So this is an hour, like, my stomach is growling. Hope y'all ain't hear that. This is the longest podcast I had in a minute for it just to be me. But I guess I'm just passionate. I'm at a point that I'm stopping with the bullshit. I'm stopping bullshit myself. I know I said that a lot, so if you don't like to hear cursing, hey, it's not my problem, yours. That's just how I feel right now. And I hope and pray that you guys stop bullshitting yourself and you really get serious. You really invest in yourself. You take yourself serious. You take your time serious. you just take life serious. That's what I want for all of us. Okay, guys? So with all that being said, this is, and I want to thank y'all again for everything, tuning in, and especially if you stayed this far, for tuning in and really supporting me with my books and everything that I got going on, okay? Thank you guys so much. This is Adion, your dream pusher, your lifeguard, saving you from yourself, from the world, and from some real, again, bullshit. And this is the Chronicles of Living podcast show, the show for everyday people doing everyday things, living everyday life. You know, it's extra ordinary folk doing the damn thing the best way we can. And that's all you can ask of yourself. Just do it at your best ability, and it'll always get better and better. Start where you are. Stop with the excuses and just let things flow from there. Okay, guys? I love you guys so much. Until next Sunday, peace. Deuces.
The Chronicles of Living.
We can be whatever we dream.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Chronicles of Living podcast, where you find only the highest vibrations. Remember, you are extraordinary. And if you're pursuing your dreams, we're proud of you. Because the best part of life is when you decide to live.
Something better is always possible if you're willing to work for it and fight for it.
Stay updated with Adion by visiting chroniclesofliving.com or stay connected through social media by following @Chronicles of Living. Until next time, your dream pusher, Adion.